Hello again. Welcome to you all in the afternoon session. We are going to study about the posterior pituitary. Now, posterior pituitary gland and its functions. Will let us understand about posterior pituitary gland.
Hello, in this video we're going to talk about the hormones of the posterior pituitary gland. The hypothalamus is the region in the brain involved in maintaining homeostasis, equilibrium in the body. Most of the hypothalamic responses are mediated through the pituitary glands. The hypothalamus interacts with the anterior pituitary gland, telling it to release or inhibit the release of hormones from the anterior pituitary gland. For the posterior pituitary gland, the hypothalamus actually has hypothalamic neurons called magnocellular neurons running towards the posterior pituitary. The magnocellular neurons produces peptides and then secretes them into the systemic circulations within the posterior pituitary. In this video, we will talk about the two hormones the posterior pituitary releases, or more specifically, the hypothalamus releases, and these are oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone, ADH, also known as arginine vasopressin. The magnocellular neurons produces neuropeptides, ADH and oxytocin, which will subsequently be released from the posterior pituitary gland. Oxytocin and ADH are closely related peptides because they are both produced by the magnocellular neurons running from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary. Let's talk about oxytocin first. So oxytocin is a hormone expressed mainly in females during birth, giving birth, labor, and also during lactation, feeding an infant with breast milk. During labor, the baby is ready to come out from the mother's womb. It will begin to stretch the cervix. This stretching of the cervix during labor will send signals to the hypothalamus, telling it to secrete more oxytocin into circulation. Oxytocin travels to the uterus, and here oxytocin will bind onto oxytocin receptors in the uterus, where it will cause rhythmic uterine contractions. Uterine contractions will further promote childbirth, further stretching the cervix, which will relay a positive feedback loop back to the hypothalamus to secrete even more oxytocin. This continues until childbirth is complete. And so it makes sense that oxytocin analogs are sometimes used clinically during labor and delivery to promote the uterine contractions. During pregnancy, the female breast increases in size, preparing itself to feed the hungry baby when it's born. The lobules of the breast becomes hypertrophied, and adipose tissue increase in this area, making the breasts large. The breast lobules produces breast milk. The myoepithelium surrounds the lobules, and its role is to contract and to help eject milk out from the nipple. Suckling of a lactating breast will send signals to the hypothalamus to secrete oxytocin. Oxytocin stimulates milk ejection by inducing contractions of the myeloepithelial cells that line the lobules here. And this is a positive feedback loop. More sucking increases more oxytocin and again more milk ejection. The next hormone of the posterior pituitary is antidiuretic hormone, ADH, also known as arginine vasopressin. ADH, also known as vasopressin, is the other neuropeptide produced by magnocellular neurons of the hypothalamus and is released from the posterior pituitary. The main function of ADH is increasing water reabsorption from the distal part of the nephron. ADH also has a role in vasoconstriction. Kidneys are important in maintaining electrolyte and fluid homeostasis. The functional units of the kidneys are the nephrons. Blood gets filtered through the nephron. Things get reabsorbed back into the body and things get secreted into the nephron. The nephron is made up of the Bowman's capsule, the head, where filtration begins, the proximal convoluted tubules, the loop of Henle, the distal convoluted tubules, and then the collecting duct. The proximal convoluted tubule is responsible for reabsorbing 90% of filtered water through aquaporin 1 channels. Reabsorption of the remaining 10% of filtered water occurs in the distal convoluted tubules and the collecting ducts and is primarily driven by antidiuretic hormone. ADH works principally on the principal cells. Did you see what I did there? The principal cells are found in the distal part of the nephrons, typically at the collecting ducts. Let's see what stimulates ADH release first. So ADH is released either in response to an increase in plasma osmolarity or a decrease in blood volume. The hypothalamus is more sensitive to small changes in plasma osmolarity rather than blood volume. Plasma osmolarity is basically sodium levels you can think about. So if you have an increase in plasma osmolarity, it means you have high levels of sodium in the blood. As we know, water follows sodium. So the body will try to make this happen. When there is an increase in plasma osmolarity or a decrease in blood volume of 10%, this will stimulate the hypothalamus to secrete antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone, ADH, will travel in blood and will target the principal cells of the nephron, increasing the expression of aquaporin type 2 channels in the collecting duct and the distal convoluted tubules here. And this will account for roughly 10% of the water reabsorption. Let's take a closer look at the principal cells and see how ADH asserts its mechanism. ADH binds onto ADH2 receptors, where it will stimulate the insertion of aquaporin 2 channels on the apical surface of the principal cells. The insertion of water channels into the membrane here increase the permeability of water in the area. Water reabsorbed in the cells leave the cells through the basal aspect through aquaporin 3 and 4 channels. Increase in water reabsorption means increase in blood volume and blood pressure, and also decreases plasma osmolarity, maintaining body homeostasis. In addition to increasing water permeability in the nephron, ADH also increases vascular resistance. This usually occurs only during severe blood loss or infection. ADH binds to ADH1 receptors expressed on vascular smooth muscles, producing contraction and increasing peripheral vascular resistance, which will also increase blood pressure. And that concludes the video on hormones of the posterior pituitary gland, which are oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone, also known as arginine vasopressin.
Now, let us understand the connection between our endocrine glands and our chakras. See, our ancient people, they are very much knowledgeable and they have understood that at different areas of our body, we have the endocrine glands. So, concentrating on those areas, we can activate those chakras, and in turn, those endocrine glands are activated. So, let us see what is the connection between the endocrine gland and the chakras.
Man, know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe and God. Pythagoras, you know, that triangle dude. Today more than ever, the world seems to be in a very disharmonic state. Thanks to modern internet technology, we now have access to all the world's information at our fingertips. And yet, the algorithms behind the mainstream tech we all use only shows us what we're accustomed to seeing, creating social divides the likes of which we've never seen before. If we took an outside perspective on our species though, you might say that we've always been disharmonic. And that's kinda true. In fact, if our esoteric history is to be believed, we've been growing more and more disharmonic for about 13,000 years now. It's in our DNA, and it's something that we're passing through as a species together. There is good news though. We're nearing the end of this paradigm, this karmic cycle of disconnection and suffering, and ideally, we will never be here again. At the moment, we're just not in tune with ourselves, and capitalism or any of that stuff. In fact, all of those are simply long-term manifestations of the real problem, which lies on a deeper, much more personal level. The true problem actually lies in our old way of thinking, creating tension on every level. Right now, as you're watching this video, all of us are going through something of a shift. We are changing into a completely new state of being with a new way of thinking and a different understanding of our multiphasic holographic reality. Today, we're going to break down the concept of chakras like you've never seen it before, a deluxe special remake that unifies all of our original episodes into something even greater. If you've been around this channel long enough, or have seen like any meditation or spiritual based movie of the last 10 years, you'll probably know that one of the most central and core themes of many New Age disciplines is the 7 chakra system. Whether you've used them as meditation aids or seen them in gift shops, you're probably at least somewhat familiar with the idea. If not, keep watching, or, just watch Doctor Strange and see how it turned out for him. When getting started with the New Age concept of chakras, first we have to understand the basics of light and color. If you take white light and shine it through a prism, the light will break into a spectrum of 7 colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Aw yeah, Roy G. Biv. You can do this at home with your own prism, or maybe you tried it in science class at school. We familiarly recognize this as the spectrum of the rainbow, or even more familiar, the basic palette in Photoshop. Scientifically though, this whole prism effect and all of the colors it produces are generally called Newtonian colors, and for the most part are the foundation of the visible color spectrum. Now, of course, there are way more than just 7 colors, especially when you get into different wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum and perhaps even different dimensions. But let's just, let's stick with these for now. The thing about color is that each one actually has its own vibration. Red has the longest wavelength and the slowest vibrational frequency, and today we generally recognize it as warm and stimulating. Violet has the shortest wavelength and the fastest frequency, and we recognize it as cool and calming. I don't think I have to describe what happens between these 2 colors. It's like a frequency change that gets shorter and faster as you move up the spectrum. This basic knowledge, believe it or not, is very important, but we're gonna have to look at some other things first. So what is a chakra? Well, it's usually believed that the word chakra comes from the Sanskrit word meaning wheel, which is partly true, but not the whole story, and we'll get to that later on. In our modern understanding though, a chakra is a wheel-like vortex spinning in a circular motion within the body. It forms a vacuum in the center that draws in energy on a vibrational level and can draw in anything from color vibration to thoughts and feelings of other people that we come into contact with. So in essence, chakras are energy points or centers that run vertically from the top of your head down your spine, or from the bottom all the way up. Think of them like pools of energy in our body. When left to their natural state, they will flow seamlessly, but life is messy and stuff like emotions, abuse, and bad experiences get in the way. And much like moss or algae, it blocks the creek from flowing. Ah, you caught me. I'm quoting Airbender on that last bit. Now, despite how you look at it, there are 7, 8, or 13 primary chakras, as well as over hundreds of smaller, minor ones that are scattered throughout the body along certain channels known as axiotonal lines. We'll cover the 8 and 13 later on though, so for right now, let's stick with the basic 7. As we understand it, your chakras are kind of like the etheric motor of the soul. Not only do your chakras draw in energy, each and every chakra radiates an energy or vibration and governs over a major organ or gland connected to other body parts that resonate at the same frequency. To have balanced and aligned chakras will make you happier, healthier, and more in tune with yourself. When one chakra center is out of sync, it may eventually affect the organs and glands that it's connected to and cause the chakras neighboring it to also go out of sync, causing a chain reaction and many bodily imbalances. A chakra can become out of balance when it is overactive, underactive, or possibly congested or blocked. This is almost always felt on a mental, emotional, or physical level. The benefits to energizing your chakras and learning about them are primarily for our harmony of mind, body, and spirit. Your mind alone cannot nurture your whole being, nor can a proper food diet solve all of your problems. It is through your chakras that you can learn to balance all aspects of yourself, bringing you into a healthier state of consciousness. As we mentioned earlier, each chakra is connected to an organ or gland, which governs over a section of the body. The order of the chakras is generally thought to go from the bottom up, starting with red and changing vibrations in each chakra until you get to violet. However, we've recently discovered that you can explore them the other way, starting with a higher awareness and bringing it down into your body. This is exactly the methodology behind the 7-day transformation, a one-of-a-kind course that has seen thousands of people change their lives and share their stories about it. And you can learn more about that by clicking the link in the description. It truly is profound. Now, when you break light apart, you get 7 colors. These are the same 7 colors that our physical body is tethered to. What would you see if you were to look at a human being through an etheric energy prism? Are we bodies of light? Think about it. Now, not only does each chakra connect to an organ or gland, but each chakra also has a very specific trait. The first chakra is survival and is connected to the adrenal gland. The next one, the sacral, governs sex or interaction and is connected to the reproductive organs. The third is the solar plexus, power or ego, and connected to the pancreas, and is often cited as being similar to the Sea of Qi mentioned in Taoist alchemical texts like The Secret of the Golden Flower. The fourth is based in love and connects to the thymus and the heart. The fifth, the throat, is expression and connects to the thyroid. The sixth is called the third eye, which is psychic and intuitive and connects to the pituitary gland. And finally, we have the crown chakra, which is the spiritual chakra and connects to the pineal gland. Although this is debated, and some say that the pineal gland is also connected to the third eye and the pituitary gland with the crown. Now, survival, sex, power, love, expression, vision, and spirituality. These are the 7 traits through which we grow and are at the core of our being and relate to our existence on a fundamental level. Understanding this system and being present with it can help us find out where we're in or out of balance. Okay, so after all that, we know a fair bit about what chakras are now, yet we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of this topic. Let's talk about opening, activating, and charging your chakras. Do you know of a time when you were struggling with your ego or didn't seem to have a heart or couldn't express yourself in your usual way? If you or anyone you know has a problem or comes off too strong in any of these traits, the reason why could be because of an imbalance within the chakras. As we know, each chakra resonates to a color. Doing something as simple as wearing clothing that matches the color of a chakra can even cause it to resonate. I remember when I was first learning about this, all of my chakras were closed except for my throat, which was way too open. The reason for this was because my bedroom was painted blue as well as my bed sheets, and every night I would get a chakra boost in that one area. And the reason that something like the color of your room would have an effect on chakras is specifically because everything has a vibration, and our environment stimulate us to think, feel, and take action just as much as our own thoughts do. If you don't believe us, just check out our episode on the biology of belief. And if that's not good enough, just ask Google why they spent millions upon millions of dollars testing what colors would compel people to use their products and services more and spend more money at the same time. Now, sunlight is of course our main source and provider of light, heat, and energy. Sunlight itself consists of energies in the form of cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, visible light rays, infrared rays, microwaves, and even radio waves. I mean, let's be real. The sun is just basically constantly waving at us. Haha, ba-dum-tsh. So straight up, lying in the sun for half an hour can give you a powerful energy boost in addition to all of that delicious vitamin D. Our skin loves that stuff. In fact, the practice of sun gazing during sunset or sunrise, when it's actually safe to do, is an ancient practice that was said to bring numerous benefits and skyrocket your ascension process that is attested to by many ancient yogis. Generally speaking, even something as simple as eating food that matches the chakra colors is just as good as well. Seriously, it's believed that eating red tomatoes and apples are good for the root chakra. Eating greens are good for the heart. Could blueberries and eggplants open your mind? At least blueberries. You open up an eggplant and it's like, psych, solar plexus, fool. Does this make you want to eat healthier? However, you have to consider what's in the food too. Skittles may seem like it's good for your entire chakra body of consciousness, but they probably break every chakra considering what's in them. But on that note, if you want to learn more, check out our movie called Healing with Food. Finally, the best way to open your chakras, hands down, is meditation. There are tons of meditations and chakra cleansings out on the web. In fact, we've made one too, and we'll share it with you soon. Sometimes though, it's as easy as just visualizing the chakra in the area that it's in and seeing it open or flood with energy. Buddhist tradition often talks about seeing the chakras as flowers with closed petals and meditating to see them opening and blooming into their full beauty. And finally, another way that you can work with your chakras is through Reiki. See, Reiki masters are people who are sensitive to and trained to work with energy. They learn to move energy throughout their body and connect it and flow it into yours. It's a very amazing process. You may have to ask, but Reiki masters can also typically communicate with your higher self for you and ask you what you need to progress on your path. Reiki itself is growing more and more popular in the last 15 years, so it shouldn't be very hard to find a number of places near you that offer it as a service. If you're serious about this and you don't know where to start, Reiki and meditation are excellent first steps. However, as with everything, be mindful that we don't want to become reliant on external support just to get by. Reiki can be very helpful, just like a plant medicine ceremony, but not so that you can just go and trash your body the next day saying, oh, no worries, I'm just gonna get Reiki again to realign. If you are getting Reiki, do your best to stay aligned after the session, ideally supplementing your own health with proper food, meditation, and even exercise. Medical science has proven that toxins and impurities, including negative thoughts, chemicals in our food, and other pollutants can influence the body. If these are consistent, then chakra imbalances can manifest, which may eventually affect us on mental and physical levels. Traditional healthcare at this time is unable to naturally or totally alleviate symptoms, especially before they happen. And this means it's up to us to improve our health conditions on our own. We can't forget that we need to take care of our whole being, not just the parts that gain symptoms. And with that, I bid you adieu. But don't worry, because we'll be back again soon for even more chakra remakes in the spirit science journey.
Now, hope you have seen the connection between the endocrine gland and the chakras. And see, they were telling about the Reiki also. Hope many of you are already a Reiki healer in this group. If not, we'll one day we take a session on the Reiki also, so that we make you compatible to receive that Reiki. I'm the Reiki master also. So I become a Reiki master in 2000, and there are many ways, we can initiate you online also. we'll think about it. But at present, the endocrine system was our the subject today, and we saw the connection between the endocrine gland and the chakras, and how the chakras can you going chakra to meditation on the chakras, we can activate all our glands, and so we will see now what are the groups, what are the remedies in our volume 3, which covers the major endocrine glands. So many people ask me about some hair fall and all. If hair fall, if it is due to any hormonal problem, we must add the OM female, because OM female consists of all the endocrine glands connected to the female organ, and also the female balance and Soham female. These are the main remedies used for balancing the endocrine gland of the female organs. So, and along with that, you can add the hair and hair tonic that is there in the Soham mixtures, and also in the mixtures also we have a hair tonic. And what else can be there in the causes for the hair fall is a nutrition. So you can add the nutrition 50M for a nutritional supplement, and also for the hormonal balance used the OM female or Soham female or female balance. And the next cause of the hair fall will be the tension. So you can choose any particular tension, like a stress, or you can hysteria and depression if they are going through. And also generally we add the tension 10 mm. You know that tension 10 mm, every emotional aspect is covered. So likewise, you can cover any of the disease. I am just given the example of hair fall. Likewise, in this book, for female, this whatever I told, this will be there. In case if there is a hair fall in the male pattern of baldness, and for a male person there is a hair fall, for everything, for hair tonic and hair, OM hair and Soham hair, all will be same, including the tension, depression, that also will be same. Only instead of female genital, they call in the book female organs, you have to give the male organ. So male, OM male and male balance and Soham male, these are the main ways how we can cover the endocrine activity of the endocrine activity in men and the male and the female. Okay, so the even without diabetes is also a part of an endocrine gland. So we have seen the pancreas, and it secretes insulin, and that's all. For a pancreas, again diabetes, we have hyper and hypoglycemia. The mixture, like in a mixture number 8. Mixture number 8 covers all the pancreatic functions like a glucagon, insulin, islets of Langerhans and pancreatin, and this is covered in the hypo and hyperglycemia. So both the cases we can use it so that we are making the organ strong. And the other, like other function of the endocrine system, which does the both the function of the endocrine and other functions also, we saw in the video. See, in the kidney you see it is all there. Kidney glomerulus is there, cortex is there, kidney issues, and posterior pituitary and ureter. Here, to tone the kidney, that we saw in the earlier function, everything is connected with the pituitary gland, anterior pituitary and exterior pituitary, posterior pituitary. So with that, we come to know in the different functioning of a body where we can go through this all mixtures, and we can, for example, in a male genital, we can see anterior pituitary is there, testis is there, sperm, and LH hormone is also there. So this is also very important. So we saw in the early maturation, early age of maturity, if someone is showing the female characteristics in the male, we can use these into balancing their hormone. We have done once like this, because in the Ford family there are all they were transgender, and the last girl was about to get maturity. Then we gave this female organs, purely OM female. Then we saw that she started menstruating and she having the healthy female organs. We have seen this practically by giving this female, OM female. Okay. Then see female genital, what all it is covered? Anterior pituitary, endometrium and FSH hormone and the uterus. And the breakdown, what are the breakdown? Anterior pituitary and the uterus and FSH hormone and anterior pituitary. See, so any problem in the female organs and the imbalance in that, we have to give the OM 24. Let us see if I have left anything by going through the 108 combo list. Combo list. Anything else you want to know? We will take that in a specific. There is one, as I told you, this endocrine system is so complicated and they are all interconnected each other. I selected this chart so that we will find out what are the product of that gland and what it does. See, it's already there. This I am going to share with you end of this session. So this chart is very important to us. So we can directly go to one by one and we can add into the remedy to cure, or you can say to balance this system. So thyroid stimulating hormone, glycoprotein, and stimulate the thyroid hormones. And this, why I am showing this is, you should go to this page and see. This is a very important page, page number 12. So that with this, any of this complaint you are coming through, you can use this particular gland. Pineal gland produces a melatonin, regulates the sleep cycle. So we can use this directly. I don't need to read every single line. Why I opened this is that there is some very important stuff here. You can use it. So this is also one ready reckoner. What causes what? See, hypothalamus controls how it controls through what hormone, and our final target is what? It is just with a one simple diagram we'll be able to understand in the previous videos what we came across. It just explained, can be explained in the single slide. Okay, I think so. We have a little bit of time left over this because I only took the endocrine system. Now I will show you the machine which is designed for the trainees. For there was demand from all of you since a very long time. I should show some that machine what I have designed. I have just explained about it. I will show you. I think you just can wait for a minute. This is a special machine designed for the trainees. It's very compact, and here it is done in the wooden boxes, but it will be done on the acrylic sheet. So it will be, since it will be fragile, it will be enclosed in the some suitcase like thing. And now this name given is as a Manoratha, because we are all talking about the mind and the imprinting the thoughts in water or pills. So Manoratha means, Mano means mind, Ratha means the carrier. So the name which I found by even numerologically fit, I added it, and here is a stick pad. Stick pad that I defined that area, but within that this area I have attached the circuit below this area, so that there is a good strength to this machine. And also this will have in the acrylic sheet, whatever I am doing, it will have a even card system also. And you see that the potencies are well marked, and this marking is done by a special technique. Means it is not a printing, it is engraving. So this marked are permanent. Any amount of this rubbing and cleaning will not result into the fading of this number. So this is the latest technology what we received in Bangalore, and we are doing it. And there is an analyzer button also. So generally what I used to say, use the last knob as an analyzer, right? But here you can find the dedicated analyzer. So when this can be used, you can use it to precisely select the potency. When you want to select the precise potency, this can be used. How? For example, I told you yesterday that constipation, I get a better result in 1M potency. Though it is mentioned to give in 200, I am using 1M. How I came to know? By dowsing this only. By putting set the number here called the constipation, and there in the inwell keep the sample of the person or let him touch that plate. Then we dose what for this particular person with this rate, what is the suitable potency, like that, we rotate this potency knob with a rubbing this finger. Wherever we get stickiness, there we leave it and say we can note it down, so that this potency works far better. Like that, even CC combo we have the direct numbers. By keeping that number, we can dose with this knob, the potency knob and the stick pad to determine the correct potency. Because one of our healer from the Davangere in Karnataka reported very good result of the CC combos with a 3x potency. So they did like that. They doused. So this is just like a even dowsing rod also. Otherwise you can hold a pendulum. There are two ways. The clockwise is this yes, anti-clockwise is no. So like that you can decide. So what potency to be given can be decided. And you see there is another some new buttons available. Because with another Brahma, I learned something which can be added into our traditional machine. And it has pulsate and treat mode, and it can do the distance healing. And there is a reverse button. When you put the reverse button, it will not come on. Whenever you are either switching to pulsate mode, when you are putting to pulsate mode for distance healing, that time it will show that you have put into reverse mode. Reverse mode means whenever I told you this facility was not there in our previous machine. So any negative energy, like diseases, all our diseases are negative energy. When you want to inversion is also called as inverting the negative energy. So once a negative energy is inverted, it becomes a positive. Like all the diseases numbers, you can invert and make it positive. So if and this invert direct inverse, this button can be also used when you want, that is in the rare cases where you want the excessive chakras you want to balance. When the excessive chakras you want to balance, or whenever you find there is some anxiety effect, you want to remove the negativity in general, you can put it to reverse and rest all into zero, make a glass of water and give. So you know why when any entities are there in the body, you will find they will be more active, more laughing, more jumping and all. You can find in that way. It is in that too in very rare cases you can do by, see what is happening inside that. When we are using the when reverse is switched off, that time the frequencies are all solfeggio frequencies are going into the clockwise direction. So they are balancing and enhancing. But when you are putting into the reverse mode, that all the frequencies, solfeggio frequency, go into the reverse mode. So also I tell the person who is using my latest machine, all are solfeggio carrier waves. I'm using solfeggio as a carrier wave. Just keep a glass of water and energize and drink. And energize and drink, all your chakras will be balanced. And this is compact and advanced machine, specially designed for those are doing courses. And if you are already having the machine, if someone wants, you can buy for them. And this machine is not available in the open sale. It is not available. It is this with this facility, its market value is around 1.25 lakhs. So it will, if anybody want the outsider from this course, they will have to pay that much, or only for those who are doing the training, it is just available for 25,000. It will also include the 650 cards and total this complete machine. And this will be little brittle because it will be made in the acrylic sheet. So acrylic because to accommodate all the card holder and everything. So this is what I wanted to introduce to you since very long time. It's very easy to operate. There is no any complicated, much more potencies. Very easily we can set whatever the potency it is there with within our volume 3, we can directly set that. Okay, thank you. I will see, will again.
Sir, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, this reverse mode is same as the sedate option in Nada Brahma?
Perfect. 100% correct.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, say I have taken, I told you this, I have taken some concept of Nada Brahma and try to give into our basic machine. This is a basic machine which in basically that revolution took place from the basic machine to the present Nada Brahma. So some part I thought it can be added here also by using our artificial intelligence. I requested to make the program according to my requirement. This I could make it easily. Okay. And what else you want to know? Please tell me. Today's we will be ending very soon. Because the topic I wanted to take about endocrine glands was very small. So I wanted to show you the coordination between chakras and the endocrine gland. So we left out our little bit of time. So anything you we wanted to know? Okay, I think so. We are ending 15 minutes earlier today. So relax. Today is a Sunday. I had a big doubt. No, with your busy schedule, will you be able to